What would a typical day entail for the guys on the team?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we've got what we call a schedule of calls, a daily schedule of calls, and that starts at about 0600. So cadets are rolling out of their bed, getting ready for some military duty in the morning for about 30, 35 minutes. They get their uniforms ready, get in formation, head over to breakfast. Sometimes breakfast is optional. Some academic courses require graded reviews. We call them GRs, but exams in the morning before normal class periods. But the first class period kicks off at 8 o'clock. And there's 4 class periods in the morning before lunch. And then there's about an hour, hour and a half of lunch period where the cadets come back to the room, make sure the room is in good order, fall out of their squadron areas, march to lunch, do a lunch. They can eat lunch in 15 minutes from the time of sit down to serving, to eating. And then they're heading off to maybe 30 minutes of military training or some extra instruction with some instructors. And then there's a couple more academic periods in the afternoon. And then they come down to the athletic area if they want to, get a workout in. We're only practicing a couple times a week right now.
Okay.
With all the games that we're playing on the weekend. So I think that's a big enough commitment. But I'll see the cadets. I work down here in the athletic department, so I see my players down here all the time. They're hitting the gym. They pretty much as a team and that type of thing. So they're doing what they need to do to make sure that they're physically fit and ready to go. But it's an outlet too to come. We call it down the hill. All behind me here is up on the hill, the cadet area where the dorms are, the academic building, the dining hall, the cadet chapel's up there. But then, so they have a 3-hour block in the late afternoon into the early evening where we call it personal time. So obviously our intercollegiates, our NCAA teams are down here that entire time and even earlier. They get an earlier start in the afternoon, so they'd spend their hours down here. But the cadets have 3 hours of personal time to kind of recharge and recover, do whatever they would like to do. And then they'll have 30-minute military time up in their squadron area just before a 2.5-hour academic call to quarters. And then it's typically lights out taps at 2300. So that's 11 o'clock.